Okay, it's 5:15, so we're going to call a meeting to order from the Financial and Judicial Committee. Roll call, please.
Scott McClory,
Here.
Ken Minell,
Here.
and Tim Sherrod is absent.
Here's the sign-in sheet you're looking for.
On this one.
You can jump in.
Okay.
Our only item tonight is a discussion and a possible decision regarding the municipal court and staffing. So who would like to jump off with that topic?
We invited Claudia here so she could kind of
Sure.
give us a little synopsis. I don't know if Adam wants
Yeah,
to say anything first.
Just a quick intro. We had this. We first talked to the F&J meeting. May have been already almost a year ago, or at least maybe.
September 7th, 2023.
Okay, it was a lot sooner than I thought. It feels like a long time ago, but thanks. So at that time we were having some questions about. At that time Claudia had indicated that she was going to be potentially retiring next year, and so we were talking about the future of not only municipal court, generally speaking, of which our city attorney had done some research on whether or not the council could have the option of potentially ending that municipal court and having those duties turned over to the county. And we got the answer that decision can't be made for at least 3 years when the current term expires for the municipal judge who is up for election this spring to finish the term that was vacated recently. So that was part of the discussion, and like I said, we were trying to figure out what to do about the court clerk position, when we could hire that position, when we should hire that position. And in the past, since let's say maybe November timeframe, Lacey's been working with Claudia and trying to have some backup in case something happened to Claudia, and also just again we have some uncertainties. For one thing, technically the municipal judge can appoint the court clerk, so that also raised a little bit of a challenge because we didn't know. Obviously whoever gets elected could appoint whoever they wanted to replace Claudia once she retires. So that's just a preview of kind of how we got here, and having now had Lacey get some training and talking to Claudia, the recommendation from I'd say both Claudia and Lacey, who have kind of observed the court, is that the position be converted to a part-time position after Claudia retires, and I'll defer to Claudia to maybe provide some of the explanation as to why there's that recommendation.
I guess I'll start backwards and work forwards. Probably around 2017, 2018, there was part of my job was sending everything to SDC, state debt collection, and through that process, we eliminated a lot of work as far as commitments, suspensions of driver's license. When you send somebody to state debt collection, you no longer do those other things. The state recommends one penalty and one penalty only. In case somebody makes a payment through state debt collection, in the meantime, there's a commitment out for their arrest or their driver's license is suspended. Now you could have a crossover, and between the time they get the money and the time I get the money, and understand to take care of those other things. So state, as always, told us at that point, do one thing, do state debt collection, and alleviate the others, which at that point took away a good chunk of workload, or part of it. I won't say a good chunk, I'll say a part of it. These are all little things. Unfortunately, in 2019, police department lost several officers during the year through retirement, and then of course the loss of Officer Kirkpatrick. That has a reflection on my job because you have less officers, less tickets. So 19, 20, 21, I had less tickets. Then we went into COVID. COVID hit during that same time period. That again caused me to rethink what I do, make some changes, and through that, and I think additionally over the last several years, my court software program, which is phenomenal, they've made changes as well. So through a culmination of all of these things, and now coming out of COVID, I don't see the need for this to continue to be a full-time position. So I made the recommendation, I believe, back in September, slightly. Now I've been working with Lacey, we've been discussing it, and I think this could be a part-time position. I'm almost done, so when you get ready to pull in the new person, that would be my suggestion to the council.
So for clarification, if we leave it quote-unquote open with a LTE until the election, and then let the new potentially municipal judge make his or her selection is what we're doing, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly?
Correct.
All right. I'm fine with that if that's the recommendation from staff and from our current clerk.
Yes, I mean, the one thing we have now that we never had before is I know how to do the job. And so I can take care of things while the position is vacant that need to be taken care of. And I will also be a backup to whoever is hired, and we'll train them. And then Claudia is gonna be my phone a friend. But it's something that the office has never had before, which I think is a huge plus to the city in general for the next 3 years at least.
And what are we thinking as far as the average of hours or average of days when we say part-time? 3 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, what are we talking?
About 20 hours a week.
20? Okay.
Couple different ideas of schedule, but based on who the judge may want to appoint or the people who apply, I think we could be workable with,
My suggestion was
times.
the middle of the week, few hours on Tuesday, roughly 6 hours on Tuesday, 8 hours on Wednesday, and 6 on Thursday, because court's on Wednesday. So when you run into the weeks where you have court, that body's gonna need to be there
Sure.
that day before and that day after.
Sure.
So why not just set it
And
that
that's why we
way?
would post it, that it would be a part-time job, but you had to be available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Corey, we're good with budgeting for that, with those hours? That's not gonna be an issue for us with that kind of an impact?
No, I mean, it's gonna be a reduction
Right.
from what we currently have, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a big cost savings for the city to do it. So, yeah, just for clarification, the sort of request would be to, once it comes time to hire the new, court clerk, that it'd be advertised as a part-time position. So, and then obviously whoever the new municipal judges can then pick that part-time person. So, but we'd actually need the council to make that, approve that change because it's effectively a budget change. So. And both a personnel change as well.
So our recommendation tonight is to approve the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday LTE position, and then send that to the full council for full approval then?
Could
Let me just
Yeah.
say
I
part-time.
I would say just stick with the part-time right now because pursuant to one, I can't remember the last part, but part of the 800 section of the municipal statutes, the judge appoints, and the judge is also supposed to be the determiner of the hours
Right.
and the days and the body that sits there. So go with just the part-time right
Okay,
now. You're
that's fine.
walking into a very unusual situation
Sure.
where now you're going to get a new judge on April 2nd, and I am gone on April 19th. So
Right.
start with just focusing on that part, I think, and
All right.
leave the hours and the days. that was my
That's fine.
recommendation.
That's fine.
so.
I'm sure whoever the new judges is gonna be, he or she is gonna be willing to work with us on that. I can't expect them to say, I'm the new judge, I want a full-time person, because we just don't have the money for that, and we obviously don't have the need for that. So, since Mr. Sherrod is not with us, Ken, you wanna make a motion to make that recommendation?
Yes. Make the recommendation too.
Okay.
And I will second it.
Second?
Does anyone else wish to be heard from staff or council in attendance?
I'm good.
All right. Any further discussion before we vote? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Claudia. And thank you, obviously, for all the years you've put into the position. We greatly appreciate you.
Yeah, and I just want to add on that. Thank you, Claudia, for working with Lacey to have a backup and to think about the transition. So we appreciate that.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.